Hey, what is going on, pros and PROesse? This is KMJ123 and welcome back to another sit-down commentary session topic talk. Again, putting the old COD 4 gameplay play in the background. Domination on Backlot, sorry. Again, another one of my favourite maps of all time. Just another good all-round map. We all know the map, we all know the game. Final score is 64-20, so a fairly decent score. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So here we are, guys, for another topic talk, and today's topic will be, does advertising really work? Now, there's obviously different forms of, advertising. You've got online, you've got in the paper, you've got on the TV, you've got basically advertisers everywhere. Go out, it's in your cars, on the radio, it's everywhere. It's in games, it's in movies, it's everywhere. Now, personally, let's be honest, guys. How often do we really watch advertisements? Now, I just want to say personally, we all know advertisements. Let's take advertisements online first. Let's take YouTube, for example. We all know ads are big business these days, and ads are what get the YouTubers lots of money, depending on how many views you get. And at the same time, a lot of people do use ad blocker. Pretty much a lot of people have Chrome, and pretty much every one of them uses ad blocker. If they don't use Chrome, they use some other source and maybe have some ad blocking program as well. But the most talked about, I certainly hear on comments and stuff, is just Google Chrome and ad blocker, and we all know about it. I mean, personally, I use Chrome, and I'm not going to say whether I use ad blocker or not, because I don't want to upset anyone. But you can pretty much tell, like most other people. But this is my point now. Does advertising really work for what it is? And again, do you actually watch the advertisement? Because, I go YouTube on my phone sometimes, and obviously I haven't got ad blocker on there. And, I see the advertisement, and, if I can skip it, great. I can skip the 5 seconds, because I will never ever watch, an advertisement, fully through. Because it's just, I'm not interested in it. I don't care what it is. But so if I could skip it, I could skip it. If it's like a full 30-second advertisement, or even a full 15 seconds, I'll just put the phone down, or I'll just look away, because I'm just not interested in it. The same with like on the TV. Like, unless we record a show, we fast forward all the ads. The BBC doesn't have any advertisements on it, and even when people put advertisements on the TV, a lot of people, do skip from channel to channel when the advertisements are on, so they're not watching them. And when the advertisements are on, we'll, like, if an ad's on, I'll go on my phone, for like, say, 5 minutes when the ads are on, or I'll get a drink, go to toilet. So again, I won't be watching the ads. So ads are really kind of like a quick break for us. Like, let's take the World Cup, for example. That's one of the most watched finals ever, like, in the world. Everyone is watching the World Cup final, and we all know the halftime ads. Let's be honest, most of us go up, get a drink, go to toilet. Most of us, chat with our friends and stuff. Who really watches the advertisements? And people pay, and companies pay an absolute fortune to advertise in that peak time. But let's be honest, who really is watching the advertisements in that little 5 minutes when there's a break? Like I just said, most people get up, get a drink, go to toilet, and they're talking, they're out in the pub. They're not going to sit and stare at the advertisements, are they? Till the football comes on, let's be honest. So they pay all that money, and the advertisements, they can be any advertisements. It may be like a car, and like, come on, who's really going to buy a car because of a random advertisement on the World Cup? Like, come on. If I'm looking for a car, I'm looking for a car, I don't look at advertisements to buy a car. I know what cars there are. I know what car I'm after. I know what car I want. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's hard. It's like when Coke advertise as well. Like, I've seen the Coke advertisements on the phone recently, and it's like, I'll choose zero this, zero that, or choose diet, or choose original, and then choose sweetness from a natural source. And I'm like, I already know what Cokes there are. You don't need to, you don't need to tell me that. If I want to go and buy a Coke, I'll buy a Coke. You know what I mean? Just because also that advertisement doesn't mean I'll go and buy one. If I want one, I'll buy one. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. I do not understand how advertising works. But that's what the big businesses are. If we're talking about smaller businesses, like, I don't know, just smaller, like, I don't know, let's go to a town centre, and then, like, we've got like a random coffee shop, you know what I mean? They advertise in the local paper and stuff, and they advertise leaflets through doors. Now, stuff like that is understandable because, obviously it's good for small businesses because they need to get recognised, they need to get advertised. But at the same time, I still don't think it works because, we get the free paper through the door like most people do, every week or whatever, every month, and half the paper is ads. Let's be honest, we just quickly skip over the ads, we don't even read them. You know, so again, what is the point of having all the ads in the paper? You know, I personally don't really read the paper. I read like the Sun sometimes, like when it's in my work, you know, when it's in my staff room at work. You know, but I won't read the advertisements. Like, I'll only read like the main stories and stuff. So again, one of Britain's most popular papers is the Sun. You know, people advertise on it. I'm just not interested in the ads. And again, even if I do read an ad, you know, it doesn't make me want to buy that product. You know what I mean? If I see it, if I'm looking for something, I'll look online. You know what I mean? I want to buy it. And again, personally online, a lot of people do use ad blocker. You know, and it's not just for YouTube ad blocker. It's for all other websites as well. It's for like Facebook and just all other websites. It blocks all ads as well, which, you know, I go to like a website, you know, on the computer, and I'm like, oh, it looks so clean with advertisements. And then I go on the, you know, on the computer, and I'm like, whoa, this website looks different because it's got ads everywhere. I'm not used to the website looking like this because I'm so used to having, you know, ad blocker on the computer. And I said, I will be honest, you know, I do have ad blocker, because I just don't see the point. And as well, it's a waste of our precious minutes. It's a waste of our precious life. You know, I wasted 30 seconds, you know, watching an advertisement. I can't get them 30 seconds back. And I know you could say that about everything in life. You know, we waste 20 minutes in traffic and we waste this, but that stuff, you know, you can't, you know, you kind of can't avoid. But advertisements, you're kind of forced to watch. Like traffic, you can kind of go around it and you can kind of be smart, but sometimes you do get stuck. But the main point is that, like, you know, unless you have ad blocker, you are physically forced to watch 5 seconds or 15 seconds or 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So. And it's kind of advertising is everywhere these days. Like, you can't escape it. Like I said, you go out, you know, it's on the radio. You know, you go out and it's in the paper. You know, it's everywhere. It's not like paint. You know, it's like on them big billboards. You know, it's everywhere. But I personally think it doesn't work. You know, like I was personally saying, I haven't physically bought anything, you know, because of an advertisement. I may have looked one may have seen this, but I personally, I just know the product, you know what I mean? Not because of advertising, but you just know. Like, I don't know, like the new COD game, I don't need to know an advertisement. I don't need to see, you know, when it's advertised on the TV. I know when it's going to be out. You know, if I'm looking for a, you know, let's say game, or I don't know, whatever, advertise a console bundle with COD. You know what I mean? I'm not going to buy it because of that. I'll look online for a console bundle. I'll get an email, I'll get a newsletter, you know, telling me about it. And I know a newsletter is kind of advertising as well, but a newsletter contains various things, doesn't it? But I don't know, it's different with big companies and small companies. Like I was saying, with smaller companies like a random coffee shop, you know, it's good for them. But again, who really, you know, is going to go out their way and say, oh, this coffee shop looks small. This coffee shop looks like a nice small business. Let's get out of our way. Let's go into the town centre and buy a coffee. Like, are you really going to do that? Me personally, no. I'd rather just go to, I don't know, McDonald's or Costa and get a coffee, because, you know, the big businesses, we all know and trust the big businesses because we know what they are. We've all got our loyalty points. You know, we've all got our, you know, our reward schemes or whatever they offer. You know, our club cards or whatever. You know. So with smaller companies, you don't get that. Now I know. Oh, look at me going on 25 kill streak here. Now I know people are saying, oh, you know, like I said, it's good to support small businesses, but at the end of the day, that small business is not going to be there forever. You know, they won't survive forever. Where big companies, they will survive forever. They will be there forever. They've got money. Let's look at Costa, for example. They are everywhere. You know, that's going off topic now. But again, back to the point. You know, advertising stuff, and it just goes from, you know, there's so many different types of advertising. I know I said you've obviously got in the paper and stuff, but there's just small things as well, like word of mouth, and you know, just like telling your mates, because, you know, like, I don't know, like, you know, you say to your mate, oh, just drinks good, so go out and buy it. For example, you know, with my drinks reviews, I'm effectively advertising the drink. Like, if I go and say, I don't know, this Monster Energy drink is good. I don't know, this random energy drink I've found. You know, some people may really want to try and find it and buy it, so they're going to go out of their way and buy the can, which makes the company, I don't know, however much money it is, may sell the can. So there's so many different times of advertising, but for the most part, the main question is, does advertising really work? And I honestly think, for the most part, you know, day in and day out, we don't watch advertisements on our phone, we block them on the internet. You know, we ignore them in the paper, we ignore them on day to day, we don't really pay attention to them on the TV. I honestly think from day to day, advertisements do not make a big difference for big companies and small companies. I honestly think they don't. I just don't think they don't, guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because again, this is always about getting you guys involved and interacted. Let me know in the comments, do you think advertisements work, you know, for big companies and small companies? You know, do you think, you know, do you think advertisements are too much? Do you think they're everywhere? Do you think do you think there's too many advertisements these days? Also, let me know if you want to be brave. Let me know in the comments whether you use ad blocker on, like YouTube or something. Because if you do use ad blocker, then obviously the YouTuber won't get their money. But it's understandable at the end of the day. But again, let me know all that in the comments, guys, because it's always just interesting to get your feedback and opinions. So, gameplay is finishing off now. Like I said, the final score was a generous 64-20. Do love the M16, guys. It is good, definitely good gun. But again, we all know this gun, we all know the game. It's the same old story, isn't it, guys? So as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.